This Van Gogh isn't just a work of art, it's work as art. Vincent van Gogh's La Moisson en Provence, or The Harvest in Provence, is a beautiful watercolor that he created in June of 1888. He shows the broad expanse of the plain with alpidal mountains in the background. There's a ruined abbey at the upper left. But this is not just a landscape, it's also a depiction of human labor. This is The Harvest. He's depicting one of the most important moments in the agricultural calendar. There is a man on top of a filled cart who's about to bale hay. There's another horse and cart moving in the background. There's a man scything the harvest and two women walking back into the expanse of the plains. And of course, in the center, holding all of this together, is a blue cart that is seemingly imbued with the personality of the artist. This is a painting about the everyday. Most high art at this time and throughout the 18th and 19th centuries was about history painting, biblical scenes, mythology. The concept of showing things as they were, or your impression of something and how it was very revolutionary. Van Gogh's point is that before there is art, there is bread. There's the blade of the harvester, there's the pitchfork of the farmer, the labor of the cart horse. If you don't have a stable base of food, you don't have civilization. And you certainly don't have someone who can take the time to show what they're doing in watercolor. When he was in Arles, he created some of his most famous compositions. He created Starry Night, he created The Night Cafe, he created the first of his sunflower still lifes. It's where he lived with Gogh in the famous yellow house. It's where he cut off his ear. This was where Van Gogh took everything he had learned from his time in Paris, where he had seen all the avant-garde had to offer. Arles completely absorbed him. The huge clouds, the gorgeous landscape, the bright hot colors. It was here he found where Cézanne came from. He was always intrigued by Cézanne, but suddenly Cézanne made sense. He started to create his own vocabulary. He created what we think of as Van Gogh. Van Gogh's watercolors are immensely rare and immensely special. It's hard to describe just how rare they are. When you think of Van Gogh, you're thinking there aren't that many. And it's true, he was not a hugely productive artist. We're not talking about Picasso, who has tens of thousands of works of art. But Van Gogh was primarily two things: a draftsman and a painter. And his watercolor combines those two qualities. What makes this watercolor so special is not just the way he outlines the figures in pen, but that he then comes back over the pen with washes and different colorations of watercolor to create the movement and breath and air of this scene. You know he made this outside. According to the Van Gogh Museum, he painted this one in one session, and because of that, there's an inherent honesty to it. And honesty is really the quality of Van Gogh's work that makes him so appealing. His work is universal. It's for everyone, and it depicts everyone. And that was very important to him. That honesty is what attracts us to Van Gogh, and what attracted Van Gogh to the laborer. This is really Van Gogh experiencing the landscape. This is what he sees, what he feels, and it is what he will use to create everything after it.